Now let us study some of the applications of the vector product. The first one is area of a parallelogram whose adjacent sides are the vectors a bar and b bar. So now from the geometry we are aware that the area of the parallelogram is given by the length of any one side. So let us consider here say b bar. So its length is nothing but mod b bar multiplied by the height as shown here, right? So that's the distance between the pair of opposite sides as shown here. Now if you consider the angle between a bar and b bar to be theta and the other side is magnitude of a bar, then clearly the height is nothing but mod a sine theta, because that's the opposite side of theta. So therefore area of the parallelogram turns out to be mod b, which is the base as we call it, multiplied by the height is nothing but mod a into sine theta. So if you look at this particular expression, we come to know that this is nothing but the expression that comes in the vector product of a bar and b bar, and it is actually the magnitude of the vector product of a bar and b bar. So therefore this we write as magnitude of vector product a bar cross b bar, right? So that's how we calculate the area of a parallelogram bound by two vectors a bar and b bar. Now the area of the triangle is very much related with the previous formula only, because if you consider a bar and b bar once again, now instead of completing the parallelogram, if we join the diagonal, we will see that the area of the triangle so formed will be half of the area of the original parallelogram, right? So therefore clearly area of the triangle formed by vectors a bar and b bar will be equal to half the magnitude of the cross product a bar cross b bar, right? Now moving on, we have the next application of the cross product, that is in calculating the moment of a force. Now by moment of a force we mean it's the turning capability of a force. That is, if we consider a rigid body as shown here and it has some axis of rotation shown in yellow colored line, okay, so that the body can rotate around that particular axis. Now let us consider that there is some point P on that body, and at that point P we are applying a force F bar, right, which is a vector quantity. Now this force will obviously produce the turning effect in the body around the given axis, right? So that particular turning capability is measured in terms of moment of a force. The vector joining the point on the axis where the axis cuts the rigid body and the point P itself, that we denote as say r bar. It is as if the radius in which that point P is going to move in circles when the body starts rotating, okay? So now here the moment of the force is denoted by m bar because it's a vector, and that is given by the cross product of r bar and f bar, okay? So this r bar we can call it as say radius vector, and f bar we know that it's the force vector, is the force being applied at point P, okay? Now here r bar can be denoted as here, we can extend it, whereas f bar can also be denoted in this manner, so that when we take the cross product by right hand thumb rule, the cross product will point in the upward direction, correct? So that is basically the direction of moment of this particular force. Moving on, we can generalize this concept, that is what is called as Varignon's theorem, which says that if multiple forces F1 bar, F2 bar, F3 bar and so on up to Fn bar act at a point, then sum of moments of those forces taken about some axis of rotation is same as the moment of a single force which is resultant of all those forces. So in the previous example we saw what is the moment of a force, that is a single force, okay? But now instead of a single force, suppose there were multiple forces acting on a body, okay? This is a point, there might be first force, there might be another force, yet another force, acting in all the possible different directions with different magnitudes. So this is equivalent to, if we consider the same rigid body with the same axis and the same point of application, but now what we do is we take the resultant of all those forces, okay, and we consider a single resultant force F. Okay? So this theorem says that the resultant of the moments produced by the individual forces will be same as the moment produced by the single resultant force of all of those forces. Okay? So that is the Varignon's theorem.